My position is we have 8 billion people on the planet, and I am all for letting more people drink the contents of batteries. Have paint chips for breakfast. Have the toaster in the bathtub with you just in case you might get hungry halfway through your bath.
Hard Rock Lunchbox.
What is up, everybody? It is time for another edition of the Hard Rock Lunchbox. How's everybody doing today? Time to make a quick announcement. I just want to point out that this will be the last Hard Rock Lunchbox of 2021. Yeah! Everyone got excited for a minute. That'll teach you. We'll get excited around here. I am still messing with my camera angle because I don't like it. So when you see this next week on the top 20, I guess we can all weigh in on how things are looking, which is horrible and end of the year-ish. But thanks for being here. Oh, man. All right, so today's a special show. We have 2 special shows a year. We have the one on Thanksgiving, or Boxgiving, as cool people like to call it, I assume. And what we do then is we play the most played bands of the box ever through the 8-year history of the box. It'll be 9 years. After that, it'll also be 10 years after that. And the reason I dumbed that down for people is because I want to talk about how people aren't smart anymore, but I'll get to that because the other special show we do every year is the year-end spectacular, boxtacular, boxbocular, specbocular, whatever you want to call it, where we play the most played song of the year. Yeah, big deal. It's not a big deal. But it could be a big deal. So basically what we do is we take the most played songs, and we have a couple of caveats. Actually, we have one caveat. I tally up all the most played songs. The only real caveat is that I can only play a band one time in the countdown. So I take their highest placed song. So there's a bunch of bands that definitely occurred in the top 21 songs, but because they were already had a higher number, I bumped them out in favor of giving everybody a shot at the glory that is being in the top 21 of 2021, because that's what we're doing today. Because as much as you think 2021 sucked, and you're right, but at least we played some good music along the way, or at least I did. But did I? So that's right. I've got the top 21 songs I'm showing you right now, but you can't see it. Top 21 songs of 2021, and we're going to be playing them in increasingly played order from 21 all the way down to 1. Some of these in here are exactly what you'd expect, but I got to tell you, there's a couple in there that I had to go back. There's one I actually went back and looked at the raw data because I was like, how can that possibly be right considering it's like a 20-year-old song? But your boy gets nostalgic from time to time and goes down that rabbit hole, and that's what happens. No phrasing. Anyway. So, just because I can, and it's my show and stuff, I'm going to take a couple of minutes just to talk about something that's coming up, because I do have to fill something for the top 20, because you know how all those 7 viewers will revolt if I don't have something. My boy Robbie's in a band called Va Va Voom, and as much as I argue with him about stuff on social media, if and when I do pop up on there, I do like those arguments because they tend to stay... they don't get insulty. They're just like debates, which I enjoy. Like, I really enjoy, like, fleshing ideas out and trying to understand stuff. But the recent one, he was talking about, and I'll paraphrase some of it so it doesn't look like I'm reading the whole time. But he was saying something about how people aren't, or maybe, whose post was it? Oh, it was Dave. Dave Suberts from 10 Ton Mojo. His post was basically like, we really are getting dumber, because the post was, if you think you are smarter than the previous generation, 50 years ago, the owner's manual of a car showed you how to adjust the valves. Today it warns you not to drink the contents of the battery, which I think is a sure sign that we're getting dumber. Now, the argument really is is that's litigation and lawyers and stuff like that. And that's true. Lawyers are protecting companies because they need to, and I'll get to that in a second. But Robbie is actually taking the argument that we're actually smarter. And as a society, we have evolved scientifically, and we've had breakthroughs medically and all that other stuff. Philosophically, maybe not so much, but like socially, we've had some changes and stuff. And society does tend to improve, but we're also we also do those things, and we move forward through the ether of this life. But having breakthroughs in technology does not make people smarter, and I think that that's something that gets lost on people, because he was making the argument that his grandmother couldn't read or wasn't taught to read or whatever, and kids today can work their cell phones. And my argument is that has absolutely nothing to do with smarts. That's exposure to a skill. Like, anybody can be taught almost anything that's not particularly artisan in nature, especially rote tasks. And the simple fact that a 3-year-old can work a phone, let alone a 25-year-old drunk white girl on a train can work a girl, does not make her smart. And I think every single person within the sound of my voice knows that to be true, may actually know a person that makes that true, or possibly could be the person themselves that makes that true. And I finally broke it down to him thusly. I said, a few thousand years ago, probably many thousands of years ago, actually, some person, some him or her, figured out how to open a nut with a rock, and then showed somebody else at camp how to do that. It did not make that other person smarter. It just gave them a skill set which they could now use. And they said that a few thousand years later, some dude sitting in England had an apple fall on his head, and he figured out the laws of gravity as we know them today. I'm sure he told a few other people about that, and maybe they understood it because they were smart, but I guarantee you there was somebody eating probably dog shit off the streets of London, not all that far away, that not only didn't get smarter from that, but didn't get smarter from any of that, because they aren't smarter, and that's my point. The masses are not smarter. We live in an advanced society, in an advanced civilization, where we have devices in our pockets that can talk to the sky and figure out information for us. And I would argue that that particular thing is making us even dumber, because we don't have to know these things. I can still do long division in my head, and most kids graduating today don't even know what that means. The simple fact that you can ask Google, Siri, or Alexa to solve all of your problems does not make you smarter. We've just enabled it because everybody else has gotten tired of you being so goddamn dumb you can't figure out how long to cook, I don't know, a piece of bacon or pork before you eat it and die. Now, my position is we have 8 billion people on the planet, and I am all for letting more people drink the contents of batteries. Have paint chips for breakfast. Have the toaster in the bathtub with you just in case you might get hungry halfway through your bath. I am all for it. I have been all for it for years. We are the first species on Earth that we're aware of that has been able to put a stopper in evolution, and we've done that because we've coddled the slow and the stupid behind us, and we elevate the mediocre to make them think that they're somehow equal or on par with the geniuses. I've got to tell you, I don't run into a lot of people that equal like the intellect of somebody like Steve Jobs, or even Mark Zuckerberg, for as dick as he is, or Bill Gates. Like, they created something pretty goddamn cool, and I am not a big fan of Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, mainly for their tax reasons, but they created something pretty cool. Do you honestly think Fred down at the corner could do that? Do you? You know why that is? Because Fred's not any smarter than we were 50 years ago. And with the curtailing of education funds and curtailing the lesson plans down in the South to totally revise history because it makes people uncomfortable to believe in abuses of women and, of course, slavery that never happened down South, then how do you expect, honestly, people to get smarter? There's intelligence and there's education. If education is getting dumber, because it is, because we're not prioritizing it, people are never going to be smarter. And I have to tell you, intelligence has a lot to do with genetics. And the smartest people with the highest intelligence are not having 12 and 15 kids. So we're not overpopulating this with the smartest people. We're overpopulating the planet with people that just think effing feels good and can't figure out to pull out or wear a condom, or just thinks it's cool to just populate the world with more of themselves. There are very, very, very few super intelligent broods of children being born. And that is going to overrun the rest of us smart people with all the dumb people. So yeah, society is getting dumber, and it's staying that way and will continue until we pull warnings off of stuff like batteries. And that is my top 20 in 10 minutes. Now it's time to get on with the goddamn countdown. We're doing the top 21 songs as played here on the box through all of 2021, through that entire suck-ass year. We played some really good music, a lot of new music, including some brand new stuff, long-awaited brand new stuff from one of my personal faves, Dead Sarah. They dropped this banger earlier in the year, and as the title states, it is hypnotic as F. Sure, that's not the full title, but it could be. That's all I'm saying. So coming in at number 21, it's Dead Sarah on the box.